The 9-2 New England Patriots have won 8 straight games and are heavy favorites to win their first AFC East title since 2019, according to ESPN Analytics and ESPN Bet Sportsbook. New England defeated Buffalo in Week 5 and will host the Bills in a pivotal matchup in Week 15. That alarm tells you that we're going to spend pretty much the rest of this show looking at potential playoff teams and figuring out what might keep them from making a Super Bowl run. Fatal flaws, if you will. Let's start with those New England Patriots. Mina, if they come up short, what will be the reason?
For me, it would be the pass defense. I think there's a couple of things that are making life harder for these cornerbacks, one of which is the absence of pressure. Patriots' standard four-man rush is 27th league-wide, in pass rush win. Opposing quarterbacks have a very long time to throw. These cornerbacks are just being asked to cover for too long. You see that time and time again, and especially against really good receivers like Drake London, you remember, not so long ago. And then the other thing is this. New England's defense, it's interesting. They're phenomenal against the run, but they're phenomenal against the run in part because they're putting a lot of bodies in the box. Not big bodies, just a lot of players. They have the third lowest light box rate in football, which is great, except for, once again, I think they're asking too much of these corners who have struggled in man coverage in particular. So for me, the pass rush has to improve, and they got to make life easier for these corners because teams with really good passing attacks, I think, can take advantage of them.
Yeah, you're a nickel too much on defense for me. In 2025, I can't allow you to play a safe defense and still have success. They are a nickel, it feels like, every single snap. And in the era of tight ends, look at who's using nickel. Now, Seattle's a little bit of a different animal because they've got a 230-pound nickel, right? So New England's using a nickel, 5 defensive backs, the third most in the NFL. In 2025, when it's the year of tight ends and smash mouth football and playing under center, if I'm Indy and I don't run it at you 40 times, shame on me. If I'm Buffalo and I don't run it at you 40 times, shame on me. The Chargers, in the way that they use their tight ends, Baltimore, if they get in. So as great as the New England story has been, if New England consistently thinks that they're going to be allowed to line up and play nickel defense in a win-or-go-home game against some teams in the AFC that can and will play smash mouth, multiple tight ends, fullback on the field football, it'll be an early exit if they get into the playoffs. So I'm telling New England right now, the story's been great. Quarterback's playing awesome. You cannot play nickel as much as you want and get away with it.
Yeah, and for the sake of all three of us not saying the same thing, because we always do, I'm going Drake Maye in a playoff run. First time, he's playing phenomenal. Everybody is so excited about the way that Drake Maye has been playing all season long. But if you've been around this league long enough, it's a different animal when you get into the postseason. Every play feels critical. Every situation feels critical. And I've applauded Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels and Drake Maye for being ready situationally. I think they're one of the better teams in the league from an offensive standpoint. But I just want to see the young fella once he gets into the playoffs. We've seen it shrink some of the best in the league with how they've played. Some of the guys that are currently playing now that can't get over the hump. So that is my one thing with a young quarterback going into the playoffs, especially in the AFC, where you're going to face guys that's been there 2, 3, 4, in Pat Mahomes' circumstance, 7 to 9 times. I'll be interested to see how he responds to that type of environment.
Yeah, Marcus, I would say the only 2 defenses that I would be concerned about him getting into the playoffs and having to face would be Indy and Baltimore. And both of those would be from a schematic standpoint. Yeah.